Scoot up for a second and let's talk. Yo, DJ, roll that beautiful champagne footage.
Champagne secrets on your screen where every vid's a gorgeous dream. Reactions full of light and fun, empowerment for everyone.
What's going on, Champagne Gang, and welcome to Champagne City. I know, this is not a general time that we go live, but y'all listen. I ran across this story and we need to cover it. You see the thumbnail down there of what we'll be covering. Y'all listen. Kendrick Lamar told y'all, squabble up. Remember? In a Super Bowl halftime show, he told you to squabble up, and it means to get ready to fight. He was trying to warn us that there was something coming on the horizon, but majority of us wasn't paying attention, remember, because we just want to be entertained. We don't want a lesson. We don't want to be warned. We don't want to protest. All we want is to be entertained. But y'all listen, because whether it's physical or mental, he tried to tell us it's all a game. That's what he said. He started out on the square button, and for the gamers, because y'all know, for those of you who've been with me a while, I'm a gamer. I love games. So he tried to let us know by choosing his first button being the square that it's time for you to choose your game. What game are you going to play? Are you going to build your character first? Are you going to select your weapons? It's a menu button, and it was chosen by Sony because its shape represents documents. When you're presented with the document, the contract, the menu, the choice, what are you going to do with it, huh? Then immediately following the song, right, Uncle Tom, because we already established that a black man wearing an Uncle Sam uniform is known as an Uncle Tom, right? So Uncle Tom comes out and tells him that he's being too ghetto, and he sings the song Be Humble, Sit Down, because that's what the system wanted him to do. This isn't about people. We want to make it a black and white thing. No, it's a system issue. It's about a rigged system that's not set up for anyone to win, except for the ones who own or control the system. Then K-Dot reminds himself, I got royalty inside my DNA. Y'all remember that part? That was his pep talk to himself, because remember, who you are, no matter what they are telling you that you should be, this is all bigger than just a game. Why is all this important? Well, recently, I came across this story out of Cincinnati, where this group of neo-Nazis decided to gather on a busy highway, posting quote-unquote swastikas and weapons and yelling racial slurs at African Americans who were driving by in their vehicles, and the police did nothing. Do you know what they did? They called it a protest, stating that they have the right to freedom of speech. Can y'all believe that? Well, if you don't, I need you to check this out really quick.
Hate has no place in Cincinnati, and we, all minority groups, are all standing together, and we need to stand together to prevent this from happening in the future.
Outrage off of I-75, where some flags displaying swastikas and hate speech were hung over the interstate today. About, a dozen or so people.
Yeah, about that many. You just heard from the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Cincinnati reacting to not only the hateful display, but also the nearby residents of Evendale and Lincoln Heights who showed up to protest the neo-Nazi demonstration.
Brady Williams is live after talking with the people that live there.
Yeah, so by the time we showed up, there was a Jeep that was smashed to bits right about here in the parking lot, and we're told that that was because there was a lot of anger over what they saw on the bridge just over there. They saw hatred and they saw racism, and they say that there was a lot of hurt over what they saw here.
Tried to elevate myself and hold myself to a level of responsibility and accountability and charity and business ownership that I could be proud of. And I got to stop at a stop sign and somebody called me the N-word.
Eric Ruffin stared down a group of people holding Nazi flags and guns just a few hundred feet from his business. Anyone who drove along I-75 near Evendale Friday afternoon saw the same thing.
Officially letting you know there is racism in America.
Residents of nearby Lincoln Heights soon arrived to protest the Nazi demonstration.
This is something that we all need to take a stand for. We need them to know this is not the 1960s. This is 2025. We are not playing at this time around.
We're told the people on the bridge came and went in a U-Haul, leaving shortly after locals arrived. Evendale police released a statement that the demonstration, while offensive, was legal. Protesters took issue with that response.
You're allowed to have a protest, but where's your permit? Where's your permission? And then inciting hate, calling people niggas. That's not right.
When Fox 19 arrived, this car had its windows smashed and its tires slashed. Protesters stated that they believed it belonged to one of the men with the Nazi flags.
That's hate. That's what hate is. That's what hate gets you.
Protesters say they were shocked and disgusted by what they saw on that overpass, but their gathering was about standing together.
This is unity. This is all you. Nobody's here to fight. Nobody's here to cause any trouble. Nobody's here to do any of that. But what we're not going to do is have hatred.
This love, like this united, like we united. Like
I hope that this can change, but you have to realize that this is a big issue.
Protesters say they saw hate and they stood their ground. They say they want to know if the masked people on that bridge will simply retreat without repercussions.
What's going to happen next? That's the question. What happens next? Hamilton County Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey did put out a statement in the last hour or so, and in that she says that her deputies were on scene. They were here specifically because they wanted to de-escalate the situation. She says that they accomplished that goal. She says also that there is no place for hate in this community. She stated also that they look forward to continuing to collaborate with the people of Lincoln Heights as well as surrounding agencies. Live in Lincoln Heights with photojournalist Philip Krinsky, Brady Williams, Fox 19 Now.
Turn my mic back on. So now let's look at another viewpoint of this quote-unquote protest. Check this out.
Ohio suburb, a hate group dressed in all black and some waving Nazi flags gathering on an overpass in the Cincinnati area. They were confronted by residents of a historically black community. Here's ABC's Perry Russell.
Tonight, the clash above a highway near Cincinnati, Ohio. Neighbors confronting neo-Nazis dressed in black, waving swastika flags on an overpass north of the city.
In this neighborhood, we do stand for something. This here turf is golden soil, and it won't be tarnished with things like that.
At least one neo-Nazi seen holding a long gun. Police shutting down the overpass, trying to keep everyone apart. The neo-Nazis taking off in a U-Haul. One person seen running down the road, throwing something against the side of the truck. A swastika flag ripped away and set on fire.
Need you, Lord, now to come in the midst of.
A minister from a nearby Baptist church holding a prayer service, calming tensions.
People are afraid, they're scared, they're angry.
These neo-Nazis were wearing similar clothes and face coverings to the neo-Nazis who marched through downtown Columbus, Ohio in November. Black community leaders later making the same march as a counter-protest. Tonight, the mayor of Cincinnati says messages of hate have no place in the region, writing, "This is not what we stand for, and it will never be what we stand for." And there was concern on the ground that police were letting this protest happen. Police say while the protest was offensive, it was not illegal.
You seen that? Now let's take a look at the actual body cam footage from when the community showed up to stand up to the neo-Nazis that were protesting in their home, their area, their space, where they live, where they should have the right to feel safe, to feel protected, to drive, to walk up and down the street without having to worry about some racists, some neo-Nazis, or whatever they want to call themselves, standing up in their area and posing a threat. It is a problem, but take a look at this body cam footage.
If you could calm me down, please. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I know.
It's up. It's a war, bitch.
Sir, if you don't mind. I know.
Y'all
I
need
know.
to get them the out of here.
But
this is bullshit.
I know.
It's causing a ruckus. They're about to get down with us do that in our own neighborhood. Stop playing!
Sir, get back, okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all got mask on because y'all bitches!
Sir, get
You
back.
got a mask on because you a bitch!
Sir, get back. Get back.
That's my own house. I pay property taxes, bitch!
Sir.
I own my
Sir, get back.
I own my
Sir.
Don't do it. I own my Don't
You understand why we're out here?
my guys aren't going to
Forever 21. That incident's been resolved. Nobody's like on phone.
Get down here. We can get out of here.
Okay.
And we might need an escort. We got a vehicle right over there, a Jeep with a dog in it. One of our guys need to be escorted right over there.
Okay. Can you guys start by taking the day?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll get that all
Yes,
taken care
sir.
of, okay?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
How y'all gonna let them come in our community and do this, man?
They are allowed to protest.
And we are too.
Right.
Don't give it to them. This is what they want. No, it's just
Hey, mother.
It's not worth it.
Stop.
No. Hey, come on. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I got the wrong neighborhood.
Guys, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
They ain't gonna come to y'all neighborhood and do that.
It's not worth it, guys. Hey, it's not worth it.
They gotta go. Yeah. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. They better go.
They're leaving.
Right now. Let me see you.
They're not. It's not worth it.
What y'all want to do?
Hey,
Wrong neighborhood.
it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
That's good. Get your get out of here.
We'll get that. Just, it ain't, man. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Back, bro. It ain't worth it. Back. It ain't worth it. Back, guys. Back. Bro, it ain't. It's not. Bro, it ain't worth it, man.
It is. You know
it's not
it is.
worth it.
You know it is.
It ain't worth it for these ignorant ass people. Hey. Guys,
Y'all gotta get out of here.
It's not worth it. They're leaving.
Get that up out of here. Get your bitch ass out of here. You're out here, man. Yeah, these bitch ass motherfuckers. We put their ass in the U-Haul and stick them hell. We put them in the U-Haul.
Hey, I gotta go talk to them. They got a car up there still. So we're gonna have to figure out how the hell they're gonna get that because they can't just walk up there and grab it now. Hey, dog in here?
I don't know. Why y'all, what made y'all come over here?
Blue? Yep. Yes, but unfortunately they left one of their vehicles here. Residents have started to destroy it. They blasted all the tires. Unfortunately, there's a service dog inside. Lincoln Heights. Yeah. So we don't know what to do. We're trying to. We actually got. Yeah. So
we're gonna need to get a tow.
Yeah, we're gonna have to tow it out of here.
He know it without a shadow of a doubt, and that's crazy that you allowed him to do that.
I like how you're putting words in my mouth.
That's how you feel, because you allowed. You stood on it because you allowed to. You're here to protect and serve. You did not serve because guess what? You got allowed them to drive off in a U-Haul, man. You allowed them to drive off in a U-Haul. Human beings not allowed to drive around in the back of a U-Haul. It's illegal.
We were dispersing them because you guys were coming up.
You let them drive off in the U-Haul. That's wrong.
Yes, and then we got them in vehicles and they're heading back home.
So you protected them then. So you cool with it? You feel how they feel. You feel how they feel about us, man.
What do you think? What do you think I do? I protect and serve. Guess what?
Not
the BLM,
not black
right?
people.
Listen.
Not black people.
Listen.
You don't protect and serve us, man. Because guess what? If you did, you wouldn't have to do all this.
I know you're upset. I'm upset too. Do you think I want to be out here? Do you think I want to be doing this? Do you think I agree with their ideology? I don't. But listen, okay? When the BLM protests, guess what? When they were saying kill officers, kill pigs, guess what I did? I sat there and protected their rights of free speech. I have to do the same for them. I disagreed with the BLM ideology and I disagree with theirs.
So y'all got that part, right? Y'all see that? Y'all see that? They call this a protest. Protest. So you are allowed to just walk into a person's neighborhood and throw racial slurs at them, and it's okay. This isn't a protest. This is a threat. And you did it in a black neighborhood to prove it was a threat. Do you know what this, before we get there, hold on. Because after they got them to disperse from the overpass, so the black people who were there couldn't get at them, then they went to a neighborhood school. Let's talk about it. They went to a school to continue their protest, quote unquote, as it is called. Check this out.
Sick is live with the district's concerns. Local 12's Chelsea Sick is live with the district's concerns and what they're now asking of local police departments. Chelsea.
Well, that video appears that a U-Haul pulled up right here on South Cooper Court here behind me with an Evendale police officer right in front of it. Now, just to put things into perspective, this was right in front of the Lockland Educational Annex you see there behind me. There were students there. Now, the Lockland superintendent says they were aware of the demonstration happening over in Evendale, but they had no idea they'd made it here to Lockland.
Not only were they here 4 minutes from dismissal of every preschool through 4th grade student that we serve in our school district.
Lockland school leaders are on edge after a U-Haul believed to be holding a group of armed demonstrators were right outside their doors. Video provided by Lockland Schools shows an Evendale police officer and U-Haul getting off the exit of I-75 in Lockland just before 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. The officer then pulls down South Cooper Court right next to the Lockland Educational Annex. The officer gets out of his cruiser and talks to occupants in the truck. Lockland superintendent says they weren't notified by police.
And in the event that we knew that there was a dangerous situation on any of our campuses, specifically that day, we would have immediately locked down our campus.
Lockland Chief Michael Ott says Evendale police never notified them that the group was in Lockland.
Clearly, we would have notified the school if we had that information.
At 3 o'clock, the Evendale police officer pulls off. 2 minutes later, the U-Haul pulls out of the parking lot. This school let out at 3:05. The Lockland School Board is now calling for an independent third-party review of the actions of the Lockland and Evendale police departments that afternoon.
The safety and security of our students were both compromised last week as a result of this incident, and our Board of Education and myself as the superintendent, we cannot take that lightly.
I emailed Evendale Chief Tim Holloway and stopped by the police department this afternoon to ask him about the video. I was told he was not available for an interview. The Lockland chief says an after-action review is underway amongst Lockland and Evendale Police and the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office.
We're working with all local law enforcement agencies just to fully investigate what happened so that we can work together to make sure something like that doesn't happen again.
The Lockland School Board did release a full statement. We have that right now on local12.com. Just click on my story on the home page. There you will also find the surveillance video the district released today.
Thanks for checking out the Local 12 YouTube.
This is sick. Beyond measure. It's absolutely detestable. You allow these individuals to drive off in a box truck in a neighborhood where kids walk. Women walk by themselves, young girls, young boys. Anything could have happened to those babies, and you label it as an okay protest. These guys walking around with masks on, swastikas on, that ain't even a proper term for them, on their clothing with weapons. And we say that it's okay, it's a protest, it's covered, it's protected. Do y'all know what this made me think of? Let me show you real quick.
This.
What?
There's a white man standing in the street.
I seen one.
Not like this.
Dial 911. Tell the police to get up here quick. Somebody's about to get killed.
Y'all don't remember that? From Die Hard with a Vengeance. Y'all need to go back and watch some old movies. What did they expect to happen? They thought black people were just going to stand by and allow this to happen? For you to throw out threats and insults to innocent people just because you feel like it? Okay. What about this thing?
Morning. You having a nice day, sir? You feeling all right? Not to get too personal, but a white man standing in the middle of Harlem wearing a sign that says, "I hate niggas," has either got some serious personal issues or not all his dogs are barking. Hey, I'm talking to you. Now, you got about 10 seconds before those guys see you. And when they do, they will kill you, you understand? You are about to have a very bad day.
Y'all don't remember that scene? What did they better be lucky that Day and Nuck them, who could care less about the police, didn't show up, because this thing would have gotten criminal. Y'all know it would have. Now, I don't agree with YNs doing YN shit, but there comes a time and a moment. And I feel like situations like this was a moment for YNs to show up and YN. Yeah, I do. This was the time. But see, y'all would have laid them down. Yeah, they would have. They would have laid them down. It wouldn't have been called a protest. It wouldn't have been called protecting your area. It wouldn't have been called protecting and standing up for your people. It would have been called nigga shit. What did Uncle Tom, Uncle Sam say during the Super Bowl? Together, tighten up is what would have been thrown out at you. But it's okay. We can't even yell derogatory comments at the LGBTQ community, but you can yell racial slurs at black people minding their own damn business, going to and fro in their neighborhood, and call it freedom of speech? Please, you cannot walk into a man's house and threaten his house and call it freedom of speech and expect him not to respond to it. Do we even understand the laws and bylaws that we created? Hold on a second. Let me get it up here for a second, because I think I forgot to insert it. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Stay with me, babies. We going somewhere. I promise you we are. Here we go. Here we go. Since everything is called freedom of speech, hold on. Do we not understand what freedom of speech protects? Spoken and written word. The right to use words and phrases to express ideas. Symbolic speech, the right to express ideas through actions like wearing armbands, burning draft cards, or protesting. The right not to speak, the right not to salute the flag. What is limited? What are some limits to free speech? True threats, speech that a person reasonably perceives as an immediate threat to their safety. So you don't think a bunch of white men. I don't even want to refer to them as that because that would insinuate that all white people think this way. And I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of agreeing to that. But a group of white men with bandanas on their arms with a swastika on, with weapons, in a black neighborhood, throwing out derogatory racial slurs at black people minding their own business. That wasn't a true threat. So if it was a true threat, that would mean it's not protected under freedom of speech, right? Let's continue. Incitement, speech that is intended and likely to provoke unlawful action. So you don't think them calling a bunch of black people a bunch of niggas wasn't going to incite them and make them angry? Make them want to lash out and fight back? But it's freedom of speech? Defamation, statements that are objectively false and harm a person's reputation. All right, let's look at another one. Hold on a second, don't go nowhere. Let's change it up really quick. Let's change it up. Hold on. The First Amendment does not protect speech that is obscene, defamatory, threatening, or incites violence. Obscenity, speech that appeals to sexual interest, depicts sexual conduct, and lacks serious literary or artistic value. Defamation, false communication that harms someone's reputation, business, or employment. True threats, statements that intend to commit violence against a person or a group of people. Fighting words, words that incite violence in response without time to think, which meant if they would have responded to what was presented before them, they wouldn't have had time to think about it because they were responding to what you presented before them. Yet, if they would have responded, then they would have been the problem. Make it make sense. Harassment, speech that is defined as harassment by law or university policy. How is this not harassment for a bunch of men to show up in a black neighborhood and just for no reason at all, unprovoked, start calling them out their names? And the police protected them. And we don't think we have a problem in this country? Please, let me show you something really quick. Let's get into the swastika really quick, because this symbol is not the same as this symbol. This symbol is actually the swastika. This symbol is the perverted version of it that some assholes decided to use in order to hold down and tear down a people. If we gonna talk about it, let's talk. Scoot up for a second. Give me 1 second. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Not only that, this symbol was used to represent this guy right here. And it is okay for people to walk around the United States of these Americas toting this symbol, which represents this guy. Didn't we fight against this guy? So you're okay with people walking around your country, our country, toting the flag of the enemy? Please make it make sense. But let's get into it because maybe some of y'all don't know where this symbol originated from. So let's get into it. Let's learn something real quick. Give me 1 second so I can make this screen bigger so I can see it. The swastika has been used for more than 10,000 years in the Indus, and y'all, I don't want to mispronounce this, so if I do, and this is from your culture, please understand, no tea, no shade, no harm. But let me make it bigger. For the Lord, I don't even want to mess it up. Valley civilizations. Similar shaped symbols have also been used in other cultures, such as ancient Troy and by the Native Americans in North America for just as long. The word swastika in Sanskrit translates to that which makes all well. Su meaning good. Swasti means to exist. It appears in one of the most frequently used mantras of the Arji Veda, the oldest scripture known to man. The swastika is considered extremely sacred and holy by many faith traditions, including Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, and remains very widely used from ancient times to present day. That word right there, not gonna mess it up. Also use the similar symbol for religious reasons. The swastika is understood to be auspicious and is found engraved on sacred objects of worship as well as on doorsteps of temples, homes, and businesses. Excuse me. It also takes prominence in many religious ceremonies to celebrate weddings, consecrate new homes, and embark on new ventures or any such promising and hopeful undertakings. It is used on a myriad of other objects in daily use in many Asian countries, especially India, because the swastika has been so widely used for so long, it has been interpreted in a variety of ways by practitioners of many Eastern religions. So you got that. Let's pull that down. Let's go to part 2. For Jews, the Nazi symbol is inextricably linked to the German National Socialist plan to rid the world of the Jewish people. In Europe and in America, the Nazi symbol called the Hakenkreuz by the Nazis and mistakenly referred to as the swastika became a symbol of hate and genocide against the Jews, a symbol that is scrawled on walls by racists and anti-Semites. Told you I ain't got on my glasses. It's kind of small. Hitler first used it as a symbol for the National Socialist Party in 1920, but its adoption as the sole national flag for Nazi Germany in 1935 coincided with the passage of laws defining Jews as being of inferior blood and beginning the process of terrorizing them. Jews lost their right to vote, their ability to marry, and in some cases their employment. Their citizenship was revoked, and they became demonized, described in language usually reserved for vermin. Ultimately, 6 million Jews were exterminated by the Nazis during the Holocaust. Let's pull up the next one. Hold on. The Nazi symbol was not an incidental or occasional image. Some viewed the symbol as a representation of an imagined Aryan identity, arguing that there was a master race or a group of people known as the Aryans. Such beliefs melded religious ideas with popular historical and racial theories of the time, theories which have long since been disproven Aryan is a Sanskrit term meaning noble and refers to the conduct of people rather than a specific group or race of people. There is no traditional understanding or evidence of any invasion of outside people during this time period supported by India's sacred or historic texts. The use of the Haken cruise did not end with the defeat of Nazi Germany. For the last 6 decades, many hateful movements, including white supremacist groups, have define non-whites as subhuman and Jews as the offspring of Satan, have adopted it. When Jewish graves are desecrated, or houses of worship attacked, spray painted Nazi symbols are frequently found. Some anti Israel activists are now using it to demonize or delegitimize Israel by claiming it is like Nazi Germany. In the Jewish experience, there is no more devastating and hurtful symbol than the Nazi symbol. Here's my thing, y'all, right? Here's my issue. We went to war over this symbol. Countless numbers of Americans, your great-grandparents, uncles, great aunties died fighting a war where this symbol, hold on a second, let's get it up here, because we need to put this thing into perspective. And I'm so perplexed and confused. Let me move this. Hold on one second. Let's move it up. Let's move it up. Countless numbers of people lost their lives over this symbol. Americans, land of the free, home of the brave. That you would allow a group to come into these United States of these Americas and wear a flag of the enemy that you fought to bring down, and you turn around and say it's protected by freedom of speech. That is a slap in the face to everything that we entered the world war to fight for. How exactly? That would be like a black man going to a KKK meeting and putting on the robe, the hat, and the mask after marching with Martin Luther King. Do we not understand the problem this poses? And your current sitting president he's never spoken out against this. He's never said this can never happen in our country that we're trying to make great again. But week after week, we're seeing this symbol march down the streets. And we're okay with it. All I have to say is this. Kendrick Lamar told you to prepare to squabble up. We are not our grandparents. We are not the past generation. We are not our ancestors. We will not stand idly by and watch our lives be threatened. We will not stand idly by and watch our children be threatened. We will not stand idly by and let you bring war to our neighborhood and not meet it with the same level that you brought it. For those who know, you know. We are in a day and age where you are going to have to pick a side. You're going to have to choose your struggle, and I'm not talking about white versus black. There is a real enemy marching down our streets, and it's not each other. It's the ones who have this belief. If you have these beliefs, if you think this symbol is okay, this symbol that was stolen from a people, stolen from a culture, their holy symbol stolen and used and transformed into a symbol of hate. If you think this is okay, you're the problem. But I guarantee you, we're the solution. Kendrick Lamar told you to get ready to squabble up. Kendrick Lamar told you to remember what's in your DNA. Because Trump isn't going to stop this. Remember, they're protected under the so-called Freedom of Speech Act. And I just read to you the fact that nothing that they're doing is covered under freedom of speech. Yet and still, they want to still use it and taunt it. It's time for you to learn not only who you are, learn who they are. No war is ever fought without learning the enemy. This is the enemy because it represents an enemy. A confused enemy is at that, because Hitler believed that the pure white race was blonde hair and blue eyes, yet he stood there with brown hair and brown eyes. Nobody had a problem with this. It's time for you to make a decision. It's time for you to make a decision. I do not fault those men and women who marched up to that bridge to stand face to face with the cowards in masks, hiding behind a swastika, taunting black people because they knew the police would show up and defuse it. Can you imagine what would have happened if the police were not there? We would have been seen as the problem. It's time for us to put the eye on who the real problem is. It's time for the government to wake up. Because if you don't, then we're going to think that you are the real problem. It's time to do something about this. Because this is not okay. And until we start seeing it is not okay and make a decision to do something about it and stop being so excited to be entertained and decide to really stand up for something, this is going to continue. But who's going to be bold enough to stand up? I don't know. That's a question you're going to have to ask yourself. And it's a question that you're going to have to answer to. That's all I have for this one, my loves. Thank you for joining me in the Champagne City. Hope you do me a favor. Really do. If you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when we jump into whichever sector we jump into for another show. And until next time, always remember, if it doesn't cause you to elevate, it's causing you to depreciate. Now raise those glasses, clink, and let's drink. Till we meet again. Ta-ta.